Greetings. Late night conversation, upholding the females that don't get as much respect as they should get for foundational Black Americans to go through so much racism like we go through. It's kind of crazy not seeing brothers acknowledge sexism. That's a little crazy, you know, that a lot of brothers, although we go through all this discrimination as Black people, we ignore the discrimination against women. And we kind of side with the racist system when it comes to sexism. So a lot of the brothers, you siding with the same system that perpetrates racism on you when it comes to sexism. We're going to talk about that, because that last election with sexism at its highest, it was very disappointing seeing so many men supporting sexism. It was very disappointing. Brothers was making up all type of excuses, but you can tell in their whole bravado that they didn't want a woman to be president. And when it comes to politics, she's far more experienced politician than Trump. Trump is not a politician at all. Became president from nowhere with no political experience. When Barack Obama became president and was running for office, he had been a senator twice. They said he didn't have enough experience. But yet Trump got in there with no political experience. And if that's not racism, what is? What is? What do you call that? There's a lot of self-hate with the Black man. He's full of it. He's full of self-hate. To watch brothers have a lot of self-hate against Barack Obama, another Black man. They want to say he's not Black, he's not this, he's not that, he's not that. Then they want to turn around and talk about the Black on Black hate with the gangs. Phony is a $2 bill. You want to say stop the Black on Black hate in the street with the gangs, but when it comes to politics, you exercise Black on Black hate. You don't exercise no type of Black unity. You looking for some type of way where a Black brother is not Black, like you blind. Like you blind. It's crazy. I've seen brothers hating on Harris, saying she's not Black. They got girlfriends lighter than that. Got girlfriends one shade off of being a white girl. Got girlfriends with blonde hair and blue contacts on. Green contact, blonde hair, extreme light skin. The most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. But we're going to talk about it, ladies. Let's get into it. And so James says, selected and not elected. I got a question, James. So in your state and in your city, you're saying it's impossible for you to show any type of political responsibility because everybody in your city is selected? Or is it that you just don't run for office? So you cannot run for office, James? Can you run for office in your city? Can you be an alderman or run for mayor? Or they're selected, so you don't have a chance? Because it sounds like a cop-out to me from somebody that's not politically active. People that say selected, not elected, they always try to use it for the president. They won't use that for the city because we know in the city you're elected and these brothers won't run. Okay, if you believe that, don't y'all listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You can run, right? Let me prove you word wrong. He says only president, which means Obama was selected. But my question to him is, was he selected to be a senator? No. He was elected to be a senator in Chicago. And if he wasn't elected in Chicago, he couldn't have been selected as president. So the same way he was elected in Chicago to be senator, he was elected to be president. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. But anyway, I'm not going to let you, I don't want people listening to you. Go somewhere, maybe have some tea or something, and come back in 30 minutes. If you're bad for my audience, don't listen to him. Don't listen to James. James is bad for our young black people. He discouraged you from showing any type of responsibility. Okay, so don't listen to him. And he's a parrot because we've all seen that saying, and he's just repeating what he saw. He didn't make that up. And he's just parroting false information. Right? Arnell, the stock market is surging today. I'm glad I trusted Trump instead of Pharaoh. Yeah, well, I am a female, didn't vote for Harrison. How am I sexist, Arnell? Well, one thing is for sure, Alicia. One thing is for sure is that time will tell. And the stock market is surging, but prices are sky high. And Trump is a common criminal that was allowed to be president when they wouldn't have let you be president. And so one thing sad about it, Alicia, is you're happy to see Trump do something that they would not have allowed you to do. Okay? So if you had a mugshot, Alicia, you would not be president. Okay? So I rest my case. You're cheering for somebody that's got something based on white privilege that you would not get, and not just white privilege, as a white male, right? Basically. And time will tell if he's going to be a great president or not, or is he going to be a Nebuchadnezzar, and is there going to be extreme storms put onto the world from the Most High from a wicked ruler? I wonder what Kentucky and Tennessee think and Arkansas think about that. You know, you might end up underwater, Alicia, if you end up with an evil ruler. But I'm glad you didn't listen to me too. And I prefer if you don't listen to me today. Come back tomorrow. You don't have to listen tonight either, sweetie. Oh, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, you don't have to listen today either. Because we have no proof you're who you say you are. You're probably some kind of political hack. And I don't want to listen to you ever. Isn't that amazing? So you're glad you didn't listen to me, and I'm glad I don't have to listen to you. See how that works? Because as far as I'm concerned, Trump is going to be a horrible president. For sure. He's some guy that's privileged and he doesn't know what he's doing at all. And she's lying. The stock market is not surging. The stock market is doing this. It's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. It's not doing well. So that was a lie. Okay, stock market is totally unstable. Okay? Because every other day, Trump is saying something different. Totally doesn't know what he's doing. Elon Musk totally doesn't know what he's doing. All them people they slapped up in the military that was talking, and the message, all the information could have been hacked, don't know what they're doing. We're dealing with a bunch of people that do not know what they are doing. Okay? And imports are high. People are having to cancel their orders because when their stuff come in, people have already prepaid for their goods and they will not be able to send it to them at that cost. Goods are as high as ever. The cost of living is as high, super high. So for somebody to come over and pretend like everything is great is crazy. Because things are not great. But we're going to talk about it. I know. And somebody come over here and talk about things is great. I said, let me get this crazy lady out of here. I'm glad I voted for Trump. Hey, man, is you crazy? First off, some people say Elon Musk played with the machines and Trump didn't really win. Some people say Starlink and technology put him in office. They even got clips of Trump suggesting that Elon did something for him to win. So it's questionable if he really won. It could have been some electronic tampering, for sure. Definitely could have been some electronic tampering. At least that's what Trump hinted at. He said, I brought Elon in, and boy, he knows how to work those computers, and we won. I said, damn, this fool telling. He basically snitched. Unbelievable. He basically snitched. It's a federal offense, but when the crook runs the federal government, nothing is an offense. Anytime you got a felon as a president, there is no law. How can there be a law when the president is a criminal? That basically ran for office to avoid prison. Everybody knows he ran. He didn't run to save the country. He ran to avoid prison. He was going to prison. So he pushed all the cases back, did what he had to do to win, and then all the cases went away. You're a criminal, basically. And so we talk about sexism. So when we talk about Trump, we're talking about racism. that he was able to do something that blacks would never be allowed to do. There is no black person that would be able to get in that much state and federal trouble and run for president. That was allowed because of his money, his connections, and the color of his skin. Anybody that denies that is not worth me talking to. Okay? This person said, if I was president, would I put blacks before white Americans? Now, that's not the stupidest question, right? So when somebody asks you stuff like that, you don't ask. I'm not answering those stupid questions. That sounds absolutely stupid. Okay? That's stupid because my job is not racial. If I'm president, I don't have a racial job. Does the president do racial stuff? I thought the president do American stuff. So if I'm the president of Americans, how am I going to distinguish the white ones from the black ones? So is that what she asked me? Am I going to go and look, oh, it's some black ones here? And so, is that what you're asking me? Girl, don't ask me nothing stupid like that. Do you know your question sounds absolutely stupid? How? What? What? If I'm president, I got to have the people come from different states and we try to figure out what we do for the country. I don't think nobody's going to come from Illinois and say, I'm representing Illinois. I want to do something from the whites in Illinois or for the blacks in Illinois. I don't think the farm bills have anything to do with whites or black. I don't think agriculture has anything to do with that. I don't think military has anything to do with white or black. I don't think economics has anything to do with white or black. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's why your name is PDZ, Papa Zulu. Some type of weird. Okay, well, you know, you cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. Crazy, a troll. I don't know. I wouldn't waste my time talking to you. You don't even know what DEI is. In a white country that's heavily racist, you would have to have special programs to make sure that blacks get an opportunity. So getting an opportunity in a majority white country is not putting blacks ahead of others. It's allowing blacks to get an equal footing in a racist country that has been racist for a very long time, where everything was only for blacks. But anyway, can't talk to you. Bye. Yeah, troll. Total idiot. When you live in a racist country and you try to have programs to make sure there's fairness for blacks, the racist country gonna say that you're putting blacks before whites. But whites are before blacks already, just naturally with no programs. It's a white racist country. So whites have been benefiting from white DEI forever. So it's just crazy to hear white people talk about DEI when the whole country's been DEI back when they had white-only washroom, white-only bathrooms. What the hell is that? What's more DAI than a dumbass with no political experience? That's the president. That's about as DEI as you get. This guy is never qualified to be president. He has no political experience. He had no political experience ever. That's DEI. Some guy from an Apprentice TV show becomes president. Never been a senator, never been a mayor, never been a congressman, nothing. Show me a black person that could have no political experience and be the president. They said told Barack Obama he didn't have enough experience. He was a senator twice. But this white guy, president, no experience. And don't know what he's talking about. And so what I'm trying to do, you can see this guy don't know nothing. This guy's an idiot. Even his show was a fraud. They said his office was dirty and everything. TV fixed that Apprentice show up. The people from the Apprentice said his office was so dirty and nasty, they couldn't even film there. They had to build him office, they had to make him look like a businessman. The guy's a 5-time loser. Like, he's horrible at business. There's another video. That guy's not no good businessman. That guy went bankrupt like 6 to 8 times. Lost all his daddy's money. He's not no good at no business. He's not no good at no business. He's like Hollywood, like how they do Hollywood actors. Basically, lights, camera, actor, dress them up, make them look, go do a president impersonation. You know what he's doing. He don't know what he's doing. Racism is going to be the destruction of America because they're not going to put the best people in position. They're going to put cousins and people in there that can't do the jobs. And the country's going to fall, as it's been falling. The country's going to fall, basically. The country's going to fall. It's going to totally disintegrate. Because it's not really set up based on merit. It's based on who know who and the color of your skin. And anybody pretends that's not that. Why would you waste time talking to them, okay? Why would you waste time talking to somebody that's denying, Elon Musk in there and doing the Nazi signal and all that? You think he would be comfortable doing that unless Trump was cool with it? So we're going to talk about sexism, because sexism was more than evident. You know what I'm saying? More than evident. Not only they claim that, a lot of people claim that. A lot of immigrants come over here and claim that. But what do they know? They just got here. Where was they? Where was they when my parents was in Alabama? So people coming over, with diplomatic help from their country, talking, with special loans and special programs. When I was in LA in the 80s, one time I was looking for a job when I got back from Hawaii. And all of the job listing was Vietnamese. And I was like, so black people and Korean. And I was like, my daddy went and fought in Korea or was based in Korea. Black men went and fought in Vietnam. And now you're looking for a job and all it says is Korean, Vietnamese, Korean, all down LA job section. Do I feel like the fall of this country will ignite a world war? I mean, it's a lot of things could ignite a world war. I believe a world war is on its way based on the fact that America only got 360 million people and China got a billion people, and America cannot compete with China. America cannot compete with China. They're just running a game on Americans. 360 million people cannot compare to a 1.1 billion people that have now caught you in technology. You could only outdo China before they advanced their technology. Now that they advanced their technology and they got 1.1 billion people, you will not have as many architects as them. You will not have as many people with technical skills as them. You will not have as many architects as them because you only got 361 million people, and 48 million of those people that are black, you hold them down because you rather drown than give black people the opportunity to help the country. But even with black people helping, the United States day of being number one is over because you don't have enough people to compete with 1.1 billion people. Period. And so if I was president, I would be having meetings with Canada, Central and South America to create the Americas and to get technology and ingenuity from the top of Canada to the bottom of South America so that we could build enough infrastructure to compete with the Chinese. I have no idea what you're talking about, Adriana. You don't know me. So for you to say I finally did something when you don't know me, you out of line, okay? So you come back in 30 minutes because you don't even know me to say finally anything about me. Behave yourself. You don't even know me. What do you mean finally? You don't know me. Yeah, weirdos. Internet nuts. Making themselves look stupid. That person don't even know me. What do you mean finally? You don't know me. I don't know you from a can of paint. Crazy. And so the only way we can compete with China is to build more technology and to bring the whole Americas. You know, that would be the only way to compete is with the same amount of manpower. I mean, to make it simple. If they got 1.1 billion people, then we have to get more people. Let me see. Population of the Americas. Okay. So both North and South America have over 1 billion people. See? So we have 1.02 billion in the Americas. Right? So if the only way to compete would be to make the Americas be able to compete with China. Because China's got 1.1 billion and the Americas have 1.02 billion. So this would be the only way to compete. This would be the only way to compete. And you're not 360 million people can never compete with 1 billion people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not dealing with weirdos today. Come back in 30 minutes, because I can't trust a lot of you all. You know what I'm saying? So I can't trust you. So everybody's going to come over with the weirdo stuff. Yeah, I gonna get you out of here. I can't trust you. You're just talking nonsense. You're just talking nonsense. I'm not doing nonsense tonight. I'm not doing political hacks. There's all type of trolls. There's all type of people using computer information to hack into conversations. You don't know if these is Russians. You have no idea who these people are. Yeah, we don't have the manpower. And so the country's not being honest because America's racist. So America's not interested in including brown Hispanics in South and Central America. They don't want to use everybody to compete. They want to just try to use white and try to think that a handful of white Americans can compete with China. But the fact of the matter is, China's going to be number one, and India's going to be number two. India's going to surpass America. And if it wasn't for the interference of European countries in Africa, Africa would surpass both China and India. Would be Africa, China, India. America would be way down at the bottom of the list. You understand? The reason Africa can't compete because all these people is China and America stealing all their natural resources from black people in Africa. So when these racists come over here and talk about blacks, this and that, everything you got, all your jewelry, all your diamonds is from black people. Stolen from the motherland. All your ingenuity that got you in the front in the beginning was black people. Your automobile, all your stuff, your cotton industry, all that. Your whole world is built off of black. Black ingenuity in America and black natural resources from Africa. Nothing is white. There's nothing coming from Europe. There is no type of natural resource coming from Europe. Nothing. Europe is old and dusty and primitive. Basically. And this is why they don't want to have you teach the facts because it'll be too depressing for the European population. It'll be depressing for them to find out they ain't what their country telling them are. Everything they're doing is being stolen. All their advances were through slavery, abuse, and stealing. Through military might to steal and slavery, free labor. They built nothing out of hard work. Nothing. They say the auto industry. And what happened when the auto industry got so big? You sent it to Mexico for cheap labor. The steel mills. You sent all that stuff out the country for cheap labor. You sent all of your industry to South and Central America for cheap labor. You didn't even keep the auto industry here for white Americans. America sold white Americans out for cheap labor. They lost all them auto jobs and stuff. They sent all that stuff to Mexico. But constantly talking pro-white. But when you really look at it, the rich don't care nothing about white people. They only care about money. And they use racism to keep the rest of the white people supporting them. But the whole time they doing white people dirty. And they're a little nervous because white Americans are waking up that, oh, this is not about race. This is about cheap labor. Okay? It's all about greed. They don't care nothing about whites. They only use whiteness to rob everybody and to keep white America as a buffer zone. So you have these rich barons, oligarchs. Then you have black people here. And then they have white Americans is here as a buffer zone. And they lie to them to keep them as a buffer zone to really think they benefiting from their race. While these guys don't care nothing about nobody under here. Nobody. Because all these businesses that's crashing in America are all white businesses. When you look at San Francisco, you look at downtown Chicago, you look at LA, and you look at all the cities following, that's all white people stuff. We used to just have a couple jobs at that stuff. But that's their economy crashing. That's dumb. They're cheating their own people. Because we would never include it. So when people come over here talking white, black, these are the people that's been brainwashed. They really believe this is about white and black. But no, this is about the filthy rich. They don't care nothing about the middle class or the poor, period. They don't care. They want to have industrial farming. They don't care about no white farmers. They don't care nothing about you. They don't take all your farms. They don't take everything you got. That's why your president is who he is. Because he's the type of person that'll steal from everybody for the rich. That's his job. His job is not to do anything political. His job is to rob everybody economically. That's Trump's job. That's the only job he's got, is to rob everybody and to help the filthy rich. That's it. He just tricked white America to support him. He ain't gonna do nothing for it. He ain't gonna do nothing for them. Look at all them people they just sent home. They wasn't black. Y'all think all them people that Elon Musk fired, how many of them you think was black? What's the percentage? Oh, small percentage. That was white Americans lost their jobs. His own supporters, people that voted for him, he said to them, suckers. So sucker board every minute. Oh, what I want to talk about is the sexism, because when I watched the election, it was heavily sexist. It was straight sexism. The whole concept that she just totally couldn't do nothing, that she totally wasn't qualified in government when she's been in government her whole life and Trump has not. And they painted this whole image of her of her as not being able to handle it. And because Biden is a racist too, he made sure she couldn't win because he was done at the debate and he stayed in there long enough to make sure she didn't have enough time to win. Biden sabotaged her presidency. That's what he did. He sabotaged her. It was obvious. It was straight sexism. And a lot of women that supported that are going to regret that. A lot of women that supported Trump are going to regret that. Because now they got a ceiling and they're going to bring that ceiling back. They're going to bring that ceiling back. And there's going to be a ceiling for women. Because you got to understand that Biden did not want her to be president at all. He didn't want her to be no president. Not one bit. He sabotaged her. He wanted Trump to win. He wanted Trump to win. He never supported her as president. He supported Trump 100%. And he made sure Trump won. He made sure Trump won. You see how happy everybody is? That he showed that racial unity? Think about it. He was a Democrat. Why are they cheering? They went to see a Democratic president that was running for office. And why were they cheering when he put a Trump hat on? Because it showed racial unity. He was basically saying, forget that black chick. We run this country. This was a signal, wink, wink, to white America. Vote for Trump. This was the best commercial Trump could have got. This was a straight commercial for Donald Trump. He told everybody, vote for Trump. Right in front, right there. You understand? Now, me, am I upset or am I emotional into it? Yeah, he was trying to help him by wearing that hat. Am I upset? No, because Europeans have destroyed the planet, so there's only so much time left anyway. A lot of stuff going to get torn up because the European power structure is not environmentally sane. It's a little nutty. And so they have no connection with the earth, with the environment. They just think everything is for money, and uh, the amount of storms and stuff we're going to see, it's going to cripple America anyway. America's going to be so broke because America's not going to be able to deal with these storms. It's not going to happen. Why you think you don't see Trump going to Arkansas and Tennessee and Kentucky and saying nothing for them people? This the first president that people was in horrible storms that didn't ever, he ain't said nothing. You know what I'm saying? You understand? He haven't said anything. Tell me you've seen a president where people lost their homes and everything and underwater, he didn't say nothing. Any other president would have been down to Kentucky right now. Yeah. They voted for him. Hey, you voted for him. But when it came your time to look out for you, we see what he said. You know, God don't like ugly. He ain't said nothing. He said nothing. And me, I'm not happy about that. I'm not going to be on no reverse racism. I'm not going to be as hateful as a lot of white Americans. I don't like that happening to them. I can't say they would give a fuck if it was us. If it was just black areas, I don't think they would give a damn. We seen what happened down there in New Orleans with Katrina. I don't care nothing about us. It's a good thing all them pictures about God they got ain't true. Good thing God ain't. Good thing that ain't Jesus for real. Good thing that's not really Jesus, huh? You know, it's crazy. And so the sexism was just totally ridiculous to the point where, they voted for a man that was just a straight up criminal. And they would have never voted for they would have never voted for no black person that had these type of criminal charges. If you were black and you had those type of criminal charges, if Barack Obama did any of this stuff Trump is doing, he'd be under the prison. And this is why black Americans got to stop pleading to white America because they know. So don't be trying to convince them that they're wrong. They know that. They're doing it on purpose. You're just wasting your breath. You think they don't know they're racist? You think they don't know they're discriminating against everybody? You really think all their commentary is real? They know their commentary is all bullshit. You think they don't know that? Hate has been taught in this country. They've been taught to hate you through propaganda. You know how like we watch rap and we say rap is influencing our community? Okay, their propaganda is influencing them. They believe whatever Big Brother tells them. And Big Brother teaches them hate in a mild way. They're not gonna change. They're gonna go down with the ship because there's not just a lack of respect for different people. There's a total lack of respect for anybody under them. There's no respect for the trees, the ocean, the animals, nothing. Everything is their playground to do whatever they want to do. To drill. Trump said he's going to drill holes in everything. He don't care. He's going to cut down all the trees. He don't care. So they have no connection with the environment or nothing like that. And it's 2025. So after so many years of destruction of the environment, everything you do now is detrimental. Every little tree you cut down now is absolutely horrible. You know what I'm saying? And so race hate is not a big deal because they got bigger problems. I would tell black people that concentrate on being ready for environment catastrophes. Don't concentrate on race because Mother Nature is taking over now. I mean, come on, man. Watch next week when this next storm comes. You'll see. It's going to be a long year with the environment. Long year. Long. It's going to be a bad year. Just this past week, it was bad. They're just not showing you. It was bad. There was tornadoes everywhere. There was tornadoes from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock at night. That never happened before. Tornadoes, we don't have weather like that long or like that. It covering that many states and stuff like that for that amount of time. It'll come through, boom, and be gone. No, not this time. It was just making tornadoes left and right. Make a tornado, make one here, go, make one there, go, make. It was just unbelievable. The weather was so bad, they predicted it was going to happen. And the sexism was just horrible. The way they pretended that this woman didn't have no qualifications with all her qualifications as a politician. It was disgraceful to the point they even had some black people just making up all type of stuff. She not black and all type of ridiculous nonsense. There she is with her grandmother and her father. Just ridiculous. To watch black people and you see this woman. There's no black people that love salt and pepper and stuff like that turn around and now she the same as salt and pepper, but now she not black. She the same as how many singers? She's the same complexion, same type of woman as how many singers and how many people we got. We've even got powerful people in the community that didn't really want to respect her as black. That's married to women that's lighter than that. I seen it. I just didn't say nothing. I don't be giving people that smoke. Some people still be out here trying to do good, so I don't throw them under the bus. But I've seen people, talking about her, and I looked at their marriage situation, and I said, okay, you know what I'm saying? Be glad I'm nice, and I'm gonna overlook that for the sake of the community. You know what I'm saying? But you phony as hell with that. You know what I'm saying? Like your situation ain't black like that. I mean, I never paid no attention or cared nothing about that. I'm born in 1958. So racism, uh, I don't pay no attention to that type of stuff, Rashawn. The difference between me and the younger people is I was born in 1958. The internet got big in the 90s, around the MySpace era. So you figure 58, 68, 78, 88. So I got 30 years no internet. So I'm not an internet person. So a lot of people I'm talking about are totally internet people, and they are totally brainwashed because that's all they know is the internet. And the internet is Big Brother, and the internet has been able to totally brainwash them. So uh, I'm not so shocked because this generation is the internet generation, and they are the most brainwashed generation in the history of the country. They're totally hypnotized by Big Brother. And Big Brother controls all this stuff. So those like me that's trying to get them out of there, then the algorithm suppresses us. And the only way you can get your message to go out, you have to be pushing the Babylon ideology. And then you could be big. I can be big. What, I got 141 people over here? I could have I can have 1,700 people over here if I talk about loose cannon and brick baby. I know what to talk about to get views, but I could get views. I can just talk about brick baby and loose cannon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, OG Ralph, you not. I don't know if you know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? You seem to be uh probably a sexist. You're probably OG Ralph. You're probably a sexist, and you probably don't like women in position like that. So you're probably a sexist with no really strong male, black male movement within the community. So yeah, I wouldn't listen to you. I wouldn't listen to you, Ralph. You're not qualified to tell me nothing. I wouldn't listen to you. Yeah, I wouldn't listen to you. I wouldn't listen to you. You couldn't tell me anything. Face to face, me and you, nah, I'll eat you alive. You still eating bacon and chicken and shit. You ain't you not that, bro. You're not that. You're just a Negro, probably that do rap. But when it comes to like knowledge, you don't got it. You ain't got no knowledge, bro. I would never. You no. You don't know nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? I would never listen to you. Okay. As you can see, I wouldn't listen to you. You're a troll, and I wouldn't listen to you. You know what I'm saying? What you do is come back tomorrow. I wouldn't listen to you, bro. Yeah, you come back tomorrow. I wouldn't listen to you. Sorry, not sorry. I would not listen to you. I would not listen to OG Ralph beats, but I wouldn't listen to you. I probably wouldn't even listen to your beats either. Yeah, I probably wouldn't rap on your beats either. I would not listen to you, Ralph. No, not OG Ralph beats. No. No. I would not listen to you. Okay. No disrespect. I just wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Most likely in the community, I wouldn't even hang with you most likely. You would not be nobody I probably would hang with. I wouldn't hang with you, OG Ralph Beats. Never. You probably like just a Negro, modern day Negro. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no type of black consciousness about you. Your name is OG Ralph Beats. Your name is whack. Like, who made that up? Hey, bro, get a new title. OG Ralph Beats? Really? Nah, I'm a producer. No. I'm not going to tell nobody I got an OG Ralph beat. Okay? The guy is a troll, and I guarantee you a misogynist. Because a lot of brothers are misogynists. A lot of brothers feel that the white system has put the black woman over them, so they have a beef with the black woman. You see, because when the black woman came from the South and came north, the system was set up in a certain way. But the fact of the matter is, one of the main reasons that the black woman was pushed over the black man that nobody wants is because the black woman was more studious in school than the black man. If we went to school back when I went to school, the smartest kids was the girls. Many of the boys played too much, clowned around too much. So if you had 6 really smart students, 4 of them would be girls. You'd have a couple boys, but typically the boys were not the top of the class. So as we go into the age of work, the boys couldn't get the jobs. For example, my father was a bus driver. My mother worked for the government. Because my mother came from Alabama and went back to school and got certain education, my mother came back and made me take typing. So I excelled in work, not because of my father. My father taught me how to be a man, but my mother was the one that said, you got to take typing. So I took typing, and I could type 60 words a minute with no errors. So when I got out of high school, I got a job at a stock exchange. I got a job for the U.S. Treasury Department because my mother made me do what the girls were doing, right? Right? So my mother made me do what the girls were doing, right? Right? My mother made me do what the girls was doing. So when I excelled. So most of my job, there was no men work there. So this is one of the reasons why the men got behind, because the men didn't study for the office jobs, for the political jobs. So therefore, they had to be the garbage man, the postman, the fire. They had to take those jobs. Okay? Because the men didn't have the skills. And so this is how the black woman got a one-up on the black man, because she took office, she learned office skills in school, and the black man didn't. So she was able to be in City Hall, in the State Building, in the Capitol Building. Whereas the black man had to be the postman and stuff like that. So this is one of the reasons was offset, based on what education and how studious you was and what you took when you went to school. Female sports wasn't nothing, so women didn't concentrate on female sports, where a lot of men thought they was going to make it to the NBA, thought they was going to make it to the NFL, thought they was going to make it to Major League Baseball. So school was secondary. So all across this country, you've seen men playing sports, and everybody know that the dudes on the sports team wasn't that smart. And sometimes they would pass them just because that's the star guard on the team, or that's just the stars on the football team. And the coach would get special homework and stuff for them so they could pass, so the football team could win. You understand? And this was one of the reasons that the black man wasn't in the same position as the black woman, because he didn't have office skills. So all those years I worked in office, I was the only black man in there. These are facts. I was the only man in there. All coming out of high school, I worked around all women. When I worked for the U.S. Treasury Department, I worked around all women. You know where the brothers was at? You know where they worked at? They worked in the mail room. They worked in the mail room. They didn't work in the office. These is facts. These are absolute facts. Still to today. That's why you see so many women in politics, black women in politics, and women in general in politics. And so there's no man, no black man I want to argue with about sexism when it comes to Harris. Because the black man has raised his son to call all the women bitches and hoes. And so all you got to do is go turn on the radio and you see sexism. So anybody that's arguing me about sexism is a bold-faced lie. Some of these brothers is fraudulent because they'll come over here and they'll deny my conversation about sexism. Then they'll go in a hole somewhere else and say, y'all need to stop calling our women bitches and hoes and got our women naked. Ain't that sexism? You see these brothers like the brother coming over trying to talk to me, OG, he a fraud. Because on one minute he'll come and say, I don't know what I'm talking about, but somewhere else, he'll be saying stop the sexism. He know damn well that black music is sexist and that white America is sexist. He don't like women. Oh gee, he don't like Harris only because she's a woman. All that other stuff he's saying is fraudulent. He lying. The real reason he don't like her because she's a woman. He lying. And I can't do a background check of his disrespectful women personally, but I can guarantee you that he got a history of disrespectful women. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you he ain't raising no queens and he ain't dealing with his woman like no queen. A lot of these brothers don't even address sisters as queens. That's something us pro-black brothers do that. Regular brothers, they don't uplift the black woman like that. They might be a pansy or a sucker for one for sex, but that's it. That brother, OG, I guarantee you his woman got blonde hair and go spend her money with the Koreans and shit. She not black like that. He ain't pushing no black. He over here fronting. That man, every woman he with, buy everything from the Koreans. He's not qualified to talk to me about nothing black. Ain't nothing black about him. And that OG shit don't mean nothing. He ain't that on the streets either. He ain't no OG to me. He ain't none of that to me. So even that OG shit, man, park that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't my OG. I don't know who OG is, but nigga, you not my OG. You not that. Don't come over here with that fake OG shit. You probably a garbage man or something like that. You ain't that. That fake OG shit. Fuck out of here. Boy, you ain't no OG. Everybody's an OG now. It must stand for old grandpa, because they sure ain't no gangsters. There ain't no gangsters gonna get on here arguing over that. You know what I'm saying? Real black men are fuck Kamala. Facts. We try to talk to her. I'm the realest nigga alive. Man, listen. Man, we would have tried to pick her up. We would have tried to hit that, okay? All right? Let me tell you something. We would have tried to fuck her, okay? She would have been all that in any hood in America. Well, in fact. And she would have been black. Anywhere in America, we would have seen her and seen a black woman. All this fake internet shit, all this shit's fraudulent. All of it's fraudulent. You see the brother say that ain't her grandmother, but didn't say nothing about her daddy. Her daddy's black. You understand me? Her daddy's black. I never listened to the weirdo. I never listened to those losers that was doing all. I never listened to them. To me, they was a disgrace. So all the black people that was going around trolling her and trying to get black people not to vote for her and really didn't have no other political options for us but Trump. In the real world, they Uncle Toms. In the real world, if you was caping for Trump in 1960, if you was caping for a white man over her, you would have been a sellout. Only now can you be caping for a man like that and not be looked at as a slave. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But when I was coming up, if it was between her and him, and you was going against her, you would have been a sellout. Period. I wouldn't get on no live with no popular brothers like that because I wouldn't want to disgrace them and embarrass them. So that's why I don't do that kind of stuff. Because I'll sure embarrass them. You know what I'm saying? You would have been a slave. You would have been a sellout. A lot of these brothers now that's talking all this political stuff, they straight sellouts. They straight try to bring something new and change what black people have been doing for years. Some of them don't even want to be called black no more. They want to be all this other stuff. I didn't really pay no attention to that stuff like that. I pushed Harris because ain't nobody going to say nothing to me without no smoke. So that's why I pushed her with no fear because ain't nobody going to say nothing to me. Ain't nobody don't talk crazy to me. OG over here talk crazy. OG never going to walk up to me and talk crazy like that. It's penalties and persecution happens for certain type of disrespect. Because at the end of the day, nigga, mind your business. Vote for you. Vote for you, not my daddy. At the end of the day. Over here is Harris all what? Harris was going to be a better president than Trump. Period. Trump was a mistake. And it's going to ruin this country. And he's going to be the natural disaster president. You're going to have more natural disasters than you ever seen under Trump. Right now, anybody want, you know what I'm saying? I'm standing on my square, stand on yours. I challenge anybody to tell me that he's not going to be the natural disaster president. He is going to be the natural disaster president. That's what he's going to be. It doesn't matter what policies he's going to come up with because there's going to be so many storms and things like that. That's not going to make no difference because he's like a Nebuchadnezzar or somebody like that. That's what he's like. I don't like him. But a lot of these young brothers, they ain't got no history. They don't know no history, so they probably like him. I can't hate on them for liking him. They don't got no history. They don't even know who he is. Somebody over here call themselves OG and don't know that man's history. How the hell you an OG? And you don't know this dude's history. That dude to have you locked up and throw the key away. It's unbelievable. You know, I ain't got time. You know, I don't got time to be arguing with no brothers like that on the internet. I'm over here trying to talk to my audience. I would advise them to talk to theirs. You know what I'm saying? Go get your audience and talk to them and show me you're really a boss. Why you over here talking to my audience? Go get you an audience. You're not my friend. I don't know you. I don't owe you nothing. I'm not listening to you. A lot of these brothers you know what I'm saying? To me, I feel like black people that supported Trump, I feel like some of them really believed that he was really good with economics. They didn't know no better that the guy is a bum and is not good with economics. So they bought the the apprentice image that they made up. But the people that shot the apprentice said he was a bum. His office was dirty and nasty and raggedy, and he looked like dirt, and they had to fix him up to sell the show. That he was nothing like the imagery. So he's like an actor. This guy's an actor, so he can act like he's a president, he's an actor. He's not a politician and don't know nothing what he's doing. And Elon Musk don't know what he's doing. Elon Musk pay people to do that and then get out there to look like a genius. Elon Musk is not a genius. He's got his daddy money from South Africa, and he used that money and he pays for intelligent people to build him this stuff. Then he jumps out there and take the credit like he's the mastermind. Tesla was in business before him. Okay. He did not build Tesla. Okay. All right. Okay. He's a fraud. Okay. Elon Musk is a fraud. Okay. He's not a genius. He's a daddy's boy that takes daddy's money. Both of them, him and Trump, that's why they get along. Those are two daddy boys. Trump's daddy built that family. And they took daddy's money and then they pretend to be their daddies. Okay? I'm not your homie. I don't know you. You from Chicago? What's your name? The host of, yeah, I don't like your title. I'm not your homie. I don't know you. Yeah, I don't know you. I mean, we not homies, so. Come on, what up, homie? I don't know you. And this was going on. These are the people, these are the two men that built Tesla and started Tesla. And Elon Musk came in with his daddy's money stolen from South Africa and used money to take over Tesla and made it look like he was the genius behind Tesla. Elon Musk is a dumbass with his daddy's money. Him and Trump are both stupid. They have their father's money. And the difference between Elon is Elon uses his money to hire a bunch of technical experts to do his stuff and jumps out there and tries to make himself look like he's a genius. But you can look at Elon Musk when they ask him questions, you see he's dumb. He can't even talk and express himself. You can see it. You can see Elon's a dumbass. He just got money. No, you can't. He's a dummy. Elon is a dummy. These are the geniuses behind Tesla. Basically. Elon is the one that built this.
No way. Oh my God, 3 fingers. It's all one piece of the body. Oh yeah, they don't use.
That's what Elon. That's the one Elon designed. I tell you, these guys. I'll tell you, man. We are living in some of the most fraudulent times in history. It's just unbelievable, the fraud. That's the Elon designed that truck. The super strong truck. Yeah, he designed that. Yeah, he designed that truck. You know? And so when it comes to politics, young people, you got to get the best out of whoever runs. So you don't get the best person, you get the best out of who runs. Yeah, Elon designed this. It's a total piece of junk. So when it comes to politics, you only get the best of who's in the field. So you have limited people in the field, right? And so you have limited people in that field of politics. And then in that field of politics, it gets withered down to even less because everybody's got to run against each other. And some people, once they lose, they're out of it. So by the time you get to a person like a Kamala Harris, she's one of the few that ran and ran and won and won and won. And these lost. And some of them might have found other jobs. But by the time you get to a certain level, you only have a few that was able to go against the other politicians and keep a political career. So when we finally get to vote, we only get to vote from the survivors of the few at a certain level. At a smaller level, we get to vote for the new ones, like certain congressmen and stuff in your state, or certain people running for mayor. You get to, you get to put them in the beginning positions so that they can come up and up and up. So this would we're not really teaching Black Americans how that go. So Black Americans don't understand that Chicago put Barack in the beginning position, and he was a senator, a state senator. Then he became a federal senator. Then he ran for president. So he had to go against other politicians to be able to last, to even be in the position to run for office. And then he has to have the right campaign committee to run a campaign to be able to win. When I see brothers talking crazy, I be wanting to know, well, where you from? And what's your Black city's accomplishment politically? You understand? What is you doing for the children to inspire the children to run? When white people win political office, it's a good thing for white children. It inspires them. It's people get inspired when they see people that look like them. So when you don't put people that look like you in powerful positions, you don't inspire your children. But when you put people in there that they can relate to, then you inspire your children. So that's why you can't hate on white America. They doing what they need to do to inspire future young white people to go do something. But when Black people try to put somebody in there, our own people tear down the role models for our children and praise somebody else that's going to be a role model for somebody else's children. Basically. And it's just a concept that black people don't understand. You got to crawl before you go walk. So it's certain moves you need to be making now that people going to criticize, but that's the only way you're going to make better moves later. That's the only way. And so this definitely would have been a good move for her to be president. Would have been one of the best things we could have did. But our people, they don't really got that like that. And then I can't be mad because they're young. We're dealing with young people. And when you're dealing with young people that haven't been in the battle, they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? But those of us that been in the battle, we know the steps that's been taken. Because we've been in the battle. We know the accomplishments. And we got a lot of people that don't really know the accomplishments that was even accomplished. And some of these people is kind of like somewhat prominent in our community as talking heads, but they still babies. They ain't got no real age on them. They born what, the 80s? You know what I'm saying? They born we in the 80s. What they know about, they wasn't here. Were they here for Shirley Chisholm? No, they wasn't even born. Were they here for Carol Moseley Braun? No, they babies. And so when you Johnny come lately and you get out here talking in front of the masses, you don't got the historical background to even see the steps that's been taken. So you won't even see Barack Obama as another step, because if you wasn't here at the first step, you don't know what you're looking at. You ain't seen the steps. You don't know that that's not the end. That's just another step. There's another step after that. So you're not going to tear down those steps you're making like that. Talking about this step didn't go nowhere. That's why it's another step. And another step and another step. And then you turn around and disrespect all the hard work your people did. Black people came out from Obama by the millions. You should have seen the field house I went to vote. All them black people voted that passed away not long after he won. Why would I disrespect him as a president when that was, you know what I'm saying? Don't no brother want this smoke. Like black people seen him that was born back in the 30s and in the 20s that went through some new dude running his mouth ain't never been to. Some dude, you ain't never been down south when I was down south in the 60s. You just talking. A lot of these dudes probably don't even know their mama and their daddy, but my mom and daddy was born in the 30s in Alabama. And my mother and father's gone. My grandmother's gone. And one of the greatest things they got to see in their life was Barack Obama be president. It meant everything to the elders. It meant more to the elders than anybody. It meant everything to the people 100, 90, 70, and 60. At the time, it meant everything. something you couldn't even comprehend. I wouldn't even want to talk to no dude couldn't talk to me. I make him cry. Because the first thing I'm gonna ask you is when you was born. So now you don't know the significance. You're a baby, and shut up and stay in a baby's place. You understand? You a baby. A lot of things have significance for people that you don't know they have significance for. All of y'all, all the old people that was in y'all family that passed away right after Barack won, this meant everything to them. It might not mean nothing to you, but to all your elders that seen that before they died, it meant everything. They said they never thought they'd see it. But then some of these people that disrespect them turn around and make Black history documentaries. How phony is that? They don't even know shit. Disrespecting your own ancestors and everything they went through. When I went to vote for them, they was rolling people in there in the wheelchairs and everything. I talked to Black men that never voted in their whole life, like 94 years old. And Obama was the first time they ever voted. It was heavy. I didn't film that because I hadn't thought to shoot the documentary yet. And I did early voting because I knew it was going to be crazy. And I went to a field house over there on 55th over there, to that field house. What's that? Jackson Park, I think. And man, it would have made you cry, man. If you had seen all them old people coming in there, man, some of them never voted in their whole life. They all gone. All of them elders. And how somebody gonna tell me that wasn't nothing worth nothing for them? You so selfish. You only think about yourself. You so selfish. You so selfish. You only think about yourself. Because you younger than me, and your mama younger than my mama. Your mama probably still alive, so you don't care. But my mother and father passed away. And I'm very excited they got to see that. That's over most of these people head. Most of these people, that's over their head. You know what I'm saying? That's over their head. You know, that's over your head. That's why a little boy got to stay in a little boy place. You know, if you ain't really got that background history, some of the stuff you're saying is bogus. You know, some of these brothers out here saying stuff, they ain't stepping on their own ancestors and don't even know it. I'm going to tell you straight up. So like that Obama presidency meant the most to the elders that did the suffering, that the younger people out here talking. You ain't did none of that suffering. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been through nothing. Okay? You ain't picked no cotton. You ain't live in no sundown town areas. You wasn't in Mississippi. You wasn't in Alabama in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. You wasn't. You wasn't. You wasn't even in Alabama when I was down there. You brand new. Stay in a brand new person's place before you get put in your place. Because you's a baby. Okay? Stay in a baby's place. Because you don't know nothing. Nothing. And you disrespecting your own elders in your family and taking away their joy out of what they got, of downplaying the joy, saying it ain't no big deal because you only 30, 40 years old. You're only 30 or 40, maybe early 50s, and you running your mouth. You don't really know nothing. You like running your mouth. And don't run your mouth to me, because my OG is the reason you can even come outside. A lot of you young mugs, by the time y'all got up, y'all could come outside. Y'all ain't did no fighting or none of that. Y'all ain't dealt with none of the racial discrimination. That's a fact. You coming up with a silver spoon in your mouth talking crazy. So little BET baby. You're a BET baby. Everything was already set for you. Then the question becomes, how much did you push after that? You pushed the least. You ain't pushing no lines, really not like you're supposed to. Man, let me tell you something. Since that era and my era stuff, y'all ain't pushing the line no more. Y'all ain't pushing that line as hard as that line was being pushed. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all ain't got the unity, ain't got the strength, ain't pushing the changes or nothing. If your ancestors was here and seeing you cheerleading for Trump over Harris, they would cry. If they seen black men doing that, they would shake their head. You would be a disgrace to your race. Straight up. Especially to your grandmamas and aunties and stuff that would have wanted to see that woman in there. But like I say, a lot of men, you don't got no respect for women. You don't got no respect for your mama, your sisters, your aunties, your grandmama, your great aunts. You don't got that. You don't want to see them get a win. Sometimes you think about everything but other people feeling like they accomplished something. And for somebody to tell you feeling like you accomplished something don't mean nothing, they a lie. Everything we did as black people in this country was based off of feeling like we accomplished something. And that's what made us want to accomplish more. So I know a lot of y'all be like, why I be shutting people down like that? Because I don't be wanting to hear what you're talking about, because you ain't none of that. You wasn't in none of the wars. You wasn't even here during the whole Black Panthers or none of that. And you ain't had nothing close to that since then. Just a bunch of costumes and internet nonsense. But you ain't really standing on nothing like that compared to the people before you. What you doing? And I can tell you this particular generation now, 40s and 30s, the ones in their teens and stuff, they gonna surpass y'all. They gonna step on y'all. The little teenagers coming up now to 20 years old, they gonna step on you 30 and 40-year-olds and 50. They gonna step on y'all neck and 50-year-olds. They gonna step on y'all necks. Y'all not gonna be as great as them. Nah. Y'all gonna be the weakest group. Yeah, you're gonna be the weakest ones. I got love for you, but you're going to be the weakest ones. What, you want me to lie to you? You 50-year-olds and 40-year-olds, y'all going to be the weakest ones. Y'all dropped all, talk about black people dropped the ball. We ain't never had no ball to drop. So how was some people that done fell off going to talk about somebody dropped the ball and 40, 50 years old, 40-year-old, y'all women got blonde hair. They lighten their skin, and you want to blame it on the music. You don't want to blame it on you. You don't want to blame it on your age group. You want to blame it on the music. But the music reflects your age group. The 40, the 50, 40, and 30-year-olds, you ain't standing on nothing. You ain't no Barry Gordy's or nothing like that. You ain't pushing no record labels. You ain't look now. Name some death rows and some no limit records now with the younger. You don't got none. Like nothing. You're doing so much complaining about people before you that when you look up, you ain't gonna be done did shit but complain. You're gonna look back and we're gonna look at your record. And what your record gonna be? Nothing. A zero. And you ain't had no hands out there on these streets and these white supremacists and shit is running over you. Running over you. Running over, stepping on your own neck. You ever notice in this now, we don't got no Fred Hamptons, none of that. All that's gone. We don't got none of that. It's all gone. My generation, we took advantage of all that and we went out and tried to make political and economical steps forward because we was the first ones allowed to do that because of they fighting. And we went and made political and economical steps forward. And then the mugs came right under us. They threw all that shit back away. They threw it all away. So it's like when I was like 40 and stuff like that, them like 20-year-olds and stuff, oh man, they was horrible. They didn't follow no leadership or nothing. They just threw everything in the garbage. That's Diddy in them. That's Diddy in them. Diddy and them threw everything in the garbage. They threw everything in the garbage. They was dope fiends. You know what I'm saying? They was dope fiends. And you can't really go nowhere. You can't build nothing unless it take like 3 generations to stick with it or it disappear. So you can't build nothing. So it's like the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and then bam, gone. All that shit disappeared. Because the 80s was still pushing it. That's Khalid Muhammad and reggae and all that. They were still pushing it. Public Enemy, all that. And then, bam. It just all disappeared. It wasn't nothing my generation can do because these are people behind us. We already did our work. So sometimes people say, what y'all do? That just show you don't even know no history. Like we did all this, all that black stuff y'all be talking about. We the ones did. We did what we did. We did what we did. From when I'm 10 all the way up to 40 something. We pushed that whole black power, that whole black is beautiful, that whole conscious movement in the 80s. We did all that. We the reasons. We the ones that KRS-One and they was following us. We built them. My generation built Poor Righteous Teachers, KRS-One, and X-Clown. We built that. Them was our shorties. We built that. But then nobody built that next group. Then the next group, they threw all that away. It wasn't the entertainers' fault. They didn't have role models close to their age to emulate. But ladies, I support y'all. We're going to still try to fight against this sexism. You know what I'm saying? We're going to honor the queens because we always had the kings and the queens, and we always honored the queens. And we ain't never disrespect the queens. We always honored the queens. So, I apologize for all the men that didn't respect y'all when a female was running and didn't even have enough decency that even if they wasn't going to vote for it, to have some respect for the sisters like that. Didn't have no respect for women. It was this election, it was a disgrace for the black man. The black man was a total disgrace. The black man was a total sellout in this last election. Victory.